Josh, just give us a little intro about yourself, where you grew up in Leeds, what school you went to, and a little bit about your early life.
Straight in there. Right. Josh Warrington, the Leeds Warrior. I'm age 27. Born LS9 area. Born in Rookwoods. Lived on York Road most of life. Went to school, high school, John Smeaton. Boxed more or less since I could pick gloves up.
Right.
Just a young lad, lots of energy, and my dad used to say, right, we're going to do something with that. No good at football, that's all left feet.
Right.
Too small for rugby, but I liked fighting, I liked physical contact. I was mad at wrestling at 6 or 7. To me, someone putting a steel chair over someone's head was really good. It excited me. Started karate. It wasn't physical enough. I loved it when there were any sparring, the kicking and the punching and stuff like that. But the other stuff, like the katas and stuff, I wasn't for me. So lost a bit of interest with that. My old fella took me down to a boxing gym on York Road, the Star Building facing Irish Centre. Walked in there. I mean, I can still remember it like yesterday. Walked through the door, the smell of the gym, the sound of the bags. Walking in, seeing 2 lads knocking 7 bells out of each other. I thought, where's the back and neck stuff? This is what I want to be. I want to do a bit of this. I wanted to stay there and train. But that was the first time I walked in the boxing gym. The rest is history for that. Left school at 16, 11 A to C, GCSEs, not knowing what I wanted to do. Ultimately, I knew I wanted to be professional. My dreams and aspirations of being an Olympic boxer or boxing for England had gone out window 2 years prior to that. Yeah. Thought that I need to get education behind me or something because my money don't grow on trees, and I didn't want to just end up in a dead-end job. I had the idea of going to university, potentially working in sports psychology, something along the lines. Ended up falling into a job as a dental technician. Turned pro at 18. Graduated from university with a degree in dental technology. Gave up work in back end of 2014, and I've been a full-time pro since then. But I turned pro 2009, and that's where we are now. It's a little bit about me. Yeah.
So when you were saying about when you went into the gym, when you saw 2 lads sparring, that was it for you, really just clicked. So before that, were you kind of scrapping as a young lad when you were? I
wouldn't say I was scrapping because I was too small. Big lads would just give me a clout and I'd go flying. But I was game, I liked the the physicality and all that. Them little brothers, I used to be scrapping with them. We were my best pal, we were my neighbour. We always used to play fighting and whatnot. It's just one of them things. And I won't say I was a bully or all like that, but I had a few fights on the estate and stuff. And I just wouldn't settle. I would always here, there, and everywhere. I used to love playing football, going to the field with my brothers and my pals, and we'd play 4 hours on end, 4 hours straight. When I look back at it, 4 hours straight without having a drink, just a bag of prawn cocktail crisps, something like that. And constantly, I'd never tire. But the boxing for me, I don't know, straight away, it just appetised me. Going in there and sparring. I mean, don't get me wrong, the other stuff, like running and punching the bags, I thought it was boring at the time. As you do as a kid, you want to be at home playing on PlayStation, and sometimes you're like, you go for a few weeks and then you get a bit bored and you think, I've really got to go there to run uphill and hit bag and be tired. But if I know I'm going to be sparring, then I'm excited. So
you didn't have that fear at all of being hit?
No, it was kind of it was one of them of I wanted to land the last punch, just a competitive edge, a little competitive edge where you'd be stood there swinging bombs. In the early days, there were no one for me to spar with, so I had to spar with girls and stuff like that and get beat up by them, but I'd go back. Or maybe the times when I was sparring with some lads and they might got better with you, then I'd want to go back next day or the next training session and get better with him. It was just, no matter what, I couldn't leave it alone. Even at times when I thought I was falling out of love with it and I wanted to just go play football with my pals, it was always there to just go back. And my old fella always said to me, listen, if you're going to do something, don't have to you either do it or don't do it at all. Don't be pissing about saying you want to go train for a week and then don't go training at all. You know, you either do it or you don't. And I just couldn't let it lie. I couldn't turn around and say, Dad, I want to put boxing in. I couldn't do it. It just... So even though them hard times when I'd come home at like 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever, were black-eyed, butter lip, you know, crying because you've been chinned in sparring, I still couldn't turn around and say, I want to give it up. Even when you're in high school and your pals are all going out and they're playing football together and having a crack and you don't really get the banter because you're not in that team, and you think, I'm missing out here. I still couldn't turn around and say, I want to give up the boxing and play football. Just something in me what kept me going and kept on taking me back there.
Yeah.
So you mentioned your dad there, so how much of an influence has he played on your career?
Papa Shawnee or Johnny Kebab, Big Sean, whatever we want to call him. He's he's been a hell of an influence on my life. You know, even now if we don't see eye to eye on a certain subject, even now I still, over the years, can't ever say a bad word about him because I owe him so much. I believe I owe him so much. Listen, if he'd to turn around and not fuck at me tomorrow and not speak to me the rest of the life, I'd still respect the man, just because of how my life's been, what's happened in it, and what he's done over the years. He's like a modern day Jesus. He always tries to help out folk whenever he can. You know, folk who are struggling, and listen, let me give you a bit of advice, or let me help you out, or let me speak to someone and try to get you a job, or whatever. He's like that. For me, it was always firm, but looking back now, I mean, his points were valid. As a kid, you think, wanker, you know what I mean? Well, yeah. Like, you know, that word, but I'm thinking, why is he being so nasty to me, or but his points were always worthwhile, and if he says something, with the bit of discipline he'd give us, and you think, okay, now he's been a bit harsh here, but you look back now, and I look down at my brothers as well, you say, well, hell, that's why he did what he did, or he said what he said. And little lessons of life from an early age. I think it gave me a wise head on young shoulders. I looked at life a little bit differently to probably my pals from age 10.
In what respect?
Just in terms of, like, my dad, he kind of treated me like an adult from age 10, 11.
Right.
So in terms of, like, if we're going out, you know, if we were going to see one of his pals, he'd take me along with him, and he'd bring me into a conversation and stuff like that. You know, and I felt like I was mixing, talking to the older fellas. Yeah. So I felt like I was on a different wavelength then, just having conversations. Yeah. And then just the way that I see some lads talk to their kids now, the way that he spoke to me, it was always, we were talking to an adult. You know, before I go to bed, I had school next day, he'd say, listen, I'll put kettle on, we'll have a cup of tea together and just have a chat. But it were things like that, and you know, whether it be telling me about stories from back in his day or whatever, he always spoke to me, just not like as a kid, but like as an adult, and introduced me to, you know, certain things and whatever from a young age. So
nice. So, do you know what, it's nice to have that hindsight now. Obviously you can look back and you can look at it now and appreciate that. The way that your parents taught to you probably goes a long way to developing how you are as an adult. And now you can look back and like, all right, like my mum and my dad was being a bit of a twat to me. Then after you look back and you're like, do you know what, I needed that. Yeah.
It's how they mould you. And listen, that's it, right. I could just nod and say to my dad, yeah, and act like I was taking it all in, and then gone out to school and pissed about and fucked about like I know a lot of lads were doing. Yeah. But I did take on board everything he said, and you know, I used to use that and evaluate life with that bit of advice. Some stuff wasn't always right, but a lot of it moulded to me into the character that I am. As I got older, and you become a teenage lad, then you start looking through the world in your own eyes. You fled from home, and you get a job. Like when I worked in a dental lab, and you see how other folk are doing stuff, and you take little bits, don't you? You take little bits, but then there's the other kind of person who just don't listen, and they think they know it all, and they go through life. But I always used to listen from a young age, because experience is the best teacher, and I was only saying that today to a lad I was sparring with. Experience is the best teacher. He's fighting for the Commonwealth title a week on Saturday, and it was a bit down, and we were just talking about a few things, and I was just saying, listen, trying to cheer him up on that and just give him a few pointers, and you want to learn that through experience. Having to go through the moments and everything else. So as a young lad, if someone turned around to me and said, hey, keep that up, lad, if I could have your time again, if I could have my time again and be your age again, I'd be doing what you're doing, or I'd have knuckled down and cracked on hard. And I used to wear that quite often. I think, okay, for instance, if I've been boxing in a working men's club and I've just won my fight, got on with a little plastic trophy, walk up and say that, I just think, I hear this all the time. Or if someone says, you're still doing boxing, hey, keep it up, lad, keep it up, I wish I could have my time again. I think, you look like you're doing alright, Carl, and that, you know. But it's only when you get older you really realise that it goes like that, doesn't it? Time does go like that, and